named for the Vikings. This modern-day explorer sails into the midnight sun.
It's more like an exploration. You have the ability to go into places where a big ship can't.
Along the way, Viking Sea gives passengers the trip of a lifetime.
Really thrilling, like it's just majestically beautiful.
You have to see it to believe it.
But this new ship and its crew are still learning to work together.
I want it now, Helen.
Not always easy when the sailing gets tough.
So this is a huge concern for us. We are empty.
Viking Sea is a brand new ship built to go anywhere. Across vast oceans or into narrow coastal waterways.
30 meters clearance.
Wow.
Just under 230 meters long, Viking Sea can carry 930 guests. That's a modest number in the cruise world. No casinos, bumper cars, or discos here. And that's just what these guests sign up for. On Viking Sea, getting there is the adventure.
No rock walls, no surfboards on board, just a place where you can really enjoy, the countryside, the scenery, the culture. It's just right for that.
During this trip, they'll follow ancient Viking trading routes. Sailing under the midnight sun. For days, never seeing the sun rise nor set.
It's more like an exploration. You have the ability to go into places where a big ship can't.
Heading 284, sir.
284, thank you.
Captain Gulaik Svalestog started out as a 17-year-old galley boy working on a freighter.
Now, 46 years later, I'm still sailing on the high seas. So this has been my life.
Over the next 14 days, Viking Sea will set out from Harwich, England, for Edinburgh and Scotland's Shetland Islands. From there, the ship will head to Norway's inner coastal passages, crossing the Arctic Circle to reach the northern tip of the country. Then Viking Sea will return southward for stops in Troms and the fjord leading to Geiranger, before wrapping up the cruise in the largest city on the coast, Bergen.
We'll start from Harwich to New Haven, Edinburgh. So starting out with maneuvers.
For the captain, this trip will be something of a homecoming.
It is new for me too, since I haven't been sailing in the Norwegian coastal water for the last 20 years. It will be an opportunity to reconnect with your country, so to speak.
Any question for Harwich to New Haven?
No.
And then we go up north again.
But right now, Viking Sea isn't going anywhere. It's 3:30 p.m. at the dock in Harwich. The bunker barge, which should be fueling up the ship, is nowhere to be found. And Viking Sea is scheduled to leave in 3 hours. Chief Engineer Odd Steiner Bjorkmo gives the bridge the bad news.
Yeah, that was the captain. A little bit worried about this now. So unfortunately, something happened out there. They could not get into the port early enough.
So this is a huge concern for us because it takes us about 5 hours to bunker, and we are empty.
The captain might be forced to delay his 6:30 departure time. Not the best way to start a cruise. At least loading the ship's provisions is going according to plan. All 90 tons of them.
Brian, how is going inside with the beverage? Everything is in? For me, I started loading at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it took me around 7 hours now to put everything inside.
Meanwhile, Viking Sea's most important cargo arrives. 930 guests.
Welcome aboard the Viking Sea. We have a celebratory champagne and juice.
This trip is booked solid.
Thank you. Enjoy your stay.
Welcome on board.
Expectations are high.
Thank you.
Viking Sea was launched just 2 months ago by the world's largest river cruise company. Part of a plan to branch out from inland waterways to the high seas. It's a high-stakes venture with a steep learning curve.
Brand new ship, it takes some time to find out what worked best in this ship. How we operate the gangways, how we operate the tenders, how we maneuver the ship.
From the engine room, the chief engineer gives the captain some good news.
Finally, we are here. It's 4:15.
The fuel barge has arrived, ready to pump 750 tons into Viking Sea's tanks. But the chief needs 3 hours to fill up. And departure time is just 2 hours away.
All depends on what is the pumping rate they can give us. So if they can give us 250 cubic meter per hour, we can do it in 3 hours.
To leave on time, the captain decides he won't wait to take on the full amount. The barge will just have to pump as much fuel into the ship as possible before they run out of time.
We can increase a little bit.
With the fueling underway, the captain leaves the bridge to greet his guests.
And we hope the whole cruise is going to be a lot of fun.
We're glad to be here.
I hope you have relaxed today because the next 8 days is going to be very busy.
Once on board, guests explore their new home, inspired by Norway's Viking heritage and classic Scandinavian design.
We create this atmosphere of harmony and kindness and caring, which is not only for the passenger, but also for ourselves.
It's just after 6 o'clock. The last of the passengers checks in.
Hello, aft station bridge.
Fueling has to stop. Captain's orders. The bunker barge departs without filling the ship's 750-ton tank.
We probably got close to 500, which should last us for about 10 days. It went better than expected because they had a high pumping rate of 320 tons an hour because the oil was very warm. It goes faster.
Without a full tank, the captain and chief engineer will have to carefully manage fuel consumption to reach their final port. But there are other factors beyond the captain's control.
So I'm hoping for good weather and calm seas, and that I will be able to present my country for the passenger in the best possible way.
Captain Svalestog has his task set out for him. A new ship, a new crew, and a route he's never sailed before. On the second day of its 2-week journey from Britain to Norway, Viking Sea is en route to Edinburgh. It's a sea day, so guests can warm up in the spa, then chill out in a Scandinavian snow grotto. It's tradition and good for the circulation.
You'll see that everyone is kind of trying to figure out the ship, trying to figure out what to do, where to go on the ship. And then after about 3 or 4 days, people start to relax into the cruise.
This ship proudly celebrates Norway's Viking heritage. In the Winter Garden Lounge, the flow of natural wood symbolizes the Viking god's tree of life. Images of Viking landmarks and ruins dominate the main staircase. Of course, the meals are far more lavish than anything the Vikings dined on. Everything is done to impress the guests and ensure they come back for more.
the owner, all the way down to the management of the ship. They want to have a cruise ship which is a very special memory for the passenger.
Thank you.
And to create an atmosphere where the crew, they are caring and they are warm and they are kind, and not because they have to be, it's because they are genuine.
Do enjoy yourself and bon appetit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Day 3 of the voyage. Viking Sea approaches Edinburgh. It's just after dawn. The weather's grey but calm.
Into length anchor, you know, up to 200 meters.
The danger here is taking an easy approach for granted.
You get reckless, as the pilots say, and that's when you feel so comfortable that you don't pay attention to where you are.
To reach the port, Viking Sea must stay within a channel just 536 meters wide. Local harbor pilot Paul Wibberley has come aboard to help guide Viking Sea into port. He knows this area so well, he could almost navigate using local landmarks alone.
If you look at the bridges, there's a transit that runs us right down the middle of the deep water here. I can tell you that I know exactly where I am, and I'm running straight down the middle of the deep water towards the anchorage.
If the ship were smaller, they would travel through the Leith locks and dock at the cruise port near downtown Edinburgh. Instead, Viking Sea will anchor in the outer harbor and shuttle passengers ashore on the ship's tender boats. Not using the locks gives Viking Sea more control over its timetable.
They can come in at any state of the tide, and then they can leave whenever they like. If they're required to come in through the locks, then they would have to arrive 3 hours before high water. They've got one slot to get in. If they're late, they could miss it. Fourth navigation, Viking Sea. That's the anchor down.
Go ahead and open up and make everything ready.
The anchor's set. Time to start loading guests into the tender boats. Only 220 guests can be taken ashore on each run.
And the tendering is a little bit long. It takes about 10 minutes drive.
Please watch your step now, please.
The ship's crew coordinates this shuttle service with the guides and buses waiting at the pier. Working hard to make certain no one is kept waiting on their first visit ashore.
Everything has to kind of flow flawlessly, so we can keep the time schedule.
At this port of call, a familiar sound in these parts welcomes the guests. The medieval city of Edinburgh and its famed Royal Mile takes visitors back to another century. Even the gray weather can't dampen these sights. Back on board Viking Sea, the galley crew is preparing its first high tea.
We have tuna salad sandwich and chicken salad sandwich.
But just before the tea starts, one of the waiters gets lost in the labyrinth of hallways between the galley and the lounge. It's not that surprising. Most of the crew is still learning this ship's layout.
He's gone? Okay.
But that's left sous chef Vikas Nanavadakar short 1 cart of sandwiches. That's a big deal. He wants everything to be perfect. And without all the tiny sandwiches, well, it's just not high tea. With the guests returning, Chef Vikas briefs the waitstaff on the treats he does have.
Good afternoon, guys.
The guests can expect the sweet.
Tea time 1 today. Lemon tart we have. Opera, that's chocolate ganache. sponge cake.
And the savory.
Pumpernickel Pacman with mayonnaise and chicken with Boston lettuce as garnish. Okay, have a nice day.
And after a frantic 10 minutes...
I want it now, Helen! He has to come very slowly. Otherwise, we open the box and we see all the sandwiches destroyed.
The missing food finally arrives.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Am I the next one?
The tea's hot. The sandwiches are a hit. And the guests are none the wiser.
Yeah, I was just pacing around the elevator and watching my phone there, so, you know, that might just ring any moment from my boss and say, like, hey, what's happening? But once that gets over, the first plate goes out, it's just smooth.
Everything worked out today. But over the next 2 weeks, far bigger challenges lie ahead. Viking Sea heads north along the British coast.
We open the starboard side for the pilot.
Yes, Richie.
There's one final stop in the UK, the Shetland Islands. Invaded by Vikings over 1,200 years ago. Viking Sea approaches Lerwick, Scotland's most northern town.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right then.
On this approach, Captain Svalestog hands control over to second-in-command, Staff Captain Svein Rune Stremnes.
It's important that we both do this quite often. It's just like driving. If you stay away from it for a long time, you're a little rusty, so to speak.
This is the first time the Staff Captain has brought Viking Sea into this port.
It's basically typical, you know, just to prepare a guy for next step, or just in case something should happen to the captain, you always have to be able to get in.
So 4 knots by the boys?
Always should know your vessel properly to be able to carry out safe operations.
To lend a hand, harbor pilot Russell Smith comes on board. No one knows more about the currents and rocks lurking in these waters.
Good morning, pilot. Today our staff captain is going to do the hard labor.
The staff captain steers the ship around a sharp corner into the harbor. Now he turns the ship to bring it parallel to the pier. He can't risk coming in too hard or too fast.
The heading staff is 128 on the quayside.
128 on the quayside.
You see where the ferry is at the moment? It's going to be south of this guy.
Here's where the hard part begins. Viking Sea is the biggest ship to ever dock at Lerwick, just under 230 meters long. But the pier is only 163 meters long. If the staff captain can't keep the ship flush to the pier, the corners could pose a serious hazard to the hull.
The pier is not long enough. You have to be careful for the corners. They can damage the ship side, so you have to be very careful that we land with the flat side. That's the main thing.
Okay, I take the rudder out. Clear on port side.
Viking Sea eases toward the dock. These lines will secure the ship, but only once it's alongside.
3 meters more.
They're close, but the captain doesn't want the lines tightened just yet.
Be careful now, slack off, slack off.
I think we just stop here.
So gangway, are you happy like this?
I think this is a good position if we do go to that line.
Good position, okay. Then we are alongside.
Copy, great.
Staff Captain Stremnes has brought his passengers safely to port. The captain's impressed.
It's very tight space here. I said it was not bad for a rookie.
Yeah.
On the dockside, an echo from the Shetland's Viking past. In the 8th century, waves of Norse settlers crossed the North Sea to live here. Norway ruled these islands for the next 600 years. Today, the guests want to meet the island's most famous residents. The original Shetland ponies were crossbred with horses brought by Norse settlers.
Everyone has a passport, a microchip, and a registration.
They're compact, but incredibly strong, able to haul twice their weight.
Here, Charlie.
As a little girl, Patricia Miller dreamed of having a Shetland pony of her own.
It's a fantasy kind of come true for me, and to be able to touch and feed one has been really glorious.
How you like that?
Viking Sea is ready to leave the British Isles and head for Norway. Chief Engineer Odd Steiner Bjorkmo is all set to take the ship across the North Sea.
I have 4 diesel engines, and they are producing 22,800 kilowatts of electric power. It's approximately 30,000 horsepower, equivalent, you can say, a small city.
The chief keeps a close watch on his fuel. The tanks weren't filled up at departure, and he needs to manage the fuel all the way to the final port in Bergen.
4 engines will consume a lot of fuel, of course. It's a costly business, and it also is a concern for the environment, of course. We try to run as lean as possible.
Viking Sea heads for Norway, the crew hoping for good weather, pushing hard to stay on schedule. On day 6 of a 2-week voyage, Viking Sea reaches the Norwegian coast.
Welcome to Norway.
It's a big moment for the ship's Norwegian captain.
We have been more sailing in the Caribbean and in Alaska and the Pacific. For the last 20 years, I have not been up in these waters.
They have crossed the North Sea and are approaching Kristiansund.
I hope that the weather gods will be with us and that we can give them the right impression of this beautiful country. "15 to 20 meters more ahead."
First land ashore.
Good position. Tight up the spring line, please.
The captain brings the ship alongside, and the cruise line's local agent, Cecilia Gard, takes charge of the tours.
I help them set up all their excursions ashore. The guides are briefed, the buses are here on time, that all our venues are notified in advance, how many guests will be coming at what time, and so on.
You're gonna have 18 guests in your group, and Tommy,
The over maximum, so she probably bus 1 and 2 is ready, and I believe that number 3.
so 3 will be here any minute.
A first aid kit, just in case.
You're not number 3, you're number 6.
Inside the bag as well, you have the lovely scarf, part of the Viking uniform. You kindly put that on.
For men as well?
Yes, you're man enough to wear it. You never know what's going to happen. There might be flat tire or a guide not being able to come because of a sick child, something like that. That's when we have to step in and, still make everything run smoothly and come up with plan B or even sometimes C.
Any questions? Perfect.
The guides and buses are in place. Time to bring out the guests.
1 and 2 is ready.
Thank you. Maria, we're ready for groups 1 and 2. So at 8:30, if you could call down groups 1 and 2 for me, please. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Hi. have a great time today, everybody.
We might have been up late trying to find that guide who canceled us last minute, but then it pays off when you see that everything works out smoothly at the pier and you have happy guests.
Good morning.
If you could hand your tickets to Lars, your guide, thank you. If you have any latecomers, let me know, please.
Morning. I think we're there. I can help.
But it's fun, great fun. And we always make it work one way or another.
While the passengers leave for their excursions,
Hey, Ganesh, how are we doing over here?
Executive Chef Ashley Duff prepares for their return.
Okay. Very good. We do about 30,000 eggs a week. You know, it's quite a big operation here. Right, what are you doing with this crab here? What are we making over there? Duck? We do it with a Viking touch. Everything is made to order, so when you order a steak, we put it on the grill. So nothing is mass produced here. You see all the waiters and bar staff running around with little iPads in their hands, and you think they're checking their emails, but they're actually doing their orders. How'd the ravioli come out? How many lobsters do we have ready? It's good. Who else you have ready? Because we have such a good crew to guest ratio, it frees me up a lot to actually spend quite a bit of time with our guests. Shrimp sandwich? Sure, why not?
As the passengers trickle back aboard from shore,
How you doing, Christian?
Ashley's ready with a seafood buffet.
How are you today, ma'am? I like to get out and see what the guys are doing when I'm not around, you know, and get direct feedback, which is always a good thing. You enjoyed yourself? Yeah? Food has been good? Excellent. Yeah.
Crew members know they're ambassadors for the ship and the cruise line itself.
I trained in Australia, and then I did my apprenticeship around the world. What's the husband?
Happy guests come back for more. That's key for a cruise line trying to grow from sailing rivers to sailing the open ocean.
What do you think, ma'am? You enjoying it?
I love seafood, and there's no better way to have seafood freshly cooked right before your eyes.
There you go. Fellow Aussie, you see.
Overnight, Viking Sea makes its way north to Brønnøysund via an inside passage that leads under a spectacular sight. The Lerwick Bridge. The clearance under the bridge is 41 meters, the same height as some of the ship's antennae. But Viking Sea's navigation light reaches more than 44 meters above the water, putting it on a collision course with the bridge.
We will not pass underneath the bridge if we don't do something.
The only way to sail under the bridge is to disconnect the antennae and lower the light. It's up to a pair of engineers to get this done in time. The bridge is half an hour away.
So then we should have 3 feet or 1 meter clearance. But still, we know it's doable. It's still a little bit exciting.
The ship is now at the mercy of the elements.
When we are in these tight areas, the two things that concern us most is the wind as well as the current. That's the most important factors.
Squeezing through, Viking Sea heads onwards to Brønnøysund.
Well, I don't know, but that looks more.
Off in the distance, an odd sight. A hill with a hole. It's called Torghatten, or Troll's Hat Mountain, and it looms over all who visit. Just seeing Torghatten from the water is not enough for the guests.
I really cannot wait to walk through it.
A spectacular view awaits. But the guests have a bit of a hike to get there.
I would say possibly a little bit more than moderate, more like severe.
In the end, the hard climb is worth it.
It's great. You know, it's what I came for. We saw it from the ship, and now we can see it from the other side.
It's day 8 on board Viking Sea. This landmark signals a special point on the journey. This is where the ship crosses the Arctic Circle. Cruise director Aaron Seifert is preparing to celebrate the Arctic crossing with a special ceremony. Any guest willing to take an icy dip will receive Viking Sea's Blue Nose Order.
Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Blue Nose Order Arctic Crossing Ceremony. How about a round of applause for our band setting some great... I think for me, in this job, the thing that I enjoy the most is just the interaction I get with the guests. It looks like everyone here is going to be taking the plunge, is that correct?
Aaron started working on cruise ships as a singer.
The line is starting over here. We need much more ice than that.
15 years later, he runs the onboard entertainment.
We still have more ice coming. There could be an instance where the weather might be too windy and we can't get into the port, so we turn it into a sea day, and then we have to create all kinds of new activities to keep the guests entertained throughout that day. Other times it could be one of my cast members who all of a sudden gets seasick. This has happened a couple times. And we had to pull some of them out of the show and then try to figure out how to make the show still work. There's always a lot going on behind the scenes. It is now time to take the plunge and receive your Blue Nose honor. Are you ready? Let's begin. All the way under.
A dab of blue meringue and a shot caps the honor.
There you go, congratulations.
Thank you.
Here's
to you. We officially welcome you all to the Blue Nose Order. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations and skål to everyone. Thank you all. Are you going to jump in? No. Okay, me neither. I think we're good. All right.
Viking Sea continues, north of the Arctic Circle, winding through Norway's coastal waters. Captain Svalestad wants to present the most spectacular sight of the 2-week journey. The legendary Fjord, known for its steep cliffs and an incredibly tight passage. Captain Svalestad has sailed the world, but he's never been here.
This visit to Fjord is, a dream of mine for many years.
Sailing the fjord is never easy. A big challenge awaits the captain on his first time through. He has sailed the world for almost 5 decades. Now Captain Gulaik Svalestad is back in home waters. He's about to realize a dream, sailing into the remote and treacherous Fjord.
I'm really excited. This is the highlight of the whole cruise for me, and I will think it is going to be there for the passenger too.
Today, the weather's smiling on these latter-day explorers. Viking Sea carefully approaches the mouth of the fjord. Soon, these cliffs will feel like they're close enough to touch. At its narrowest point, the channel into the fjord is just 58 meters wide. Viking Sea is 28.8 meters wide, leaving a mere 15 meters of clearance on either side. Mountains from 600 to 1,100 meters high tower over the ship. Viking Sea is one of the largest cruise ships to ever attempt this passage. Everyone is on deck to watch.
We have done some very tight maneuvers, as long as we don't have too much wind or other phenomena which can be difficult.
At this point, the channel has narrowed down to a claustrophobic 58 meters wide.
We're not allowed to use the horn because they're afraid that they can disturb the rocks and they can fall down on the ship.
When the gusts pick up in here, the fjord becomes a dangerous wind tunnel. But they've lucked out today. The calm weather holds. So does the magic.
Once in a lifetime experience.
It's really thrilling. Like, it's just majestically beautiful.
The Troll Fjord runs for 2 kilometers, ending in a cove less than 315 meters wide. There's only one way out, the way the ship came in. So Viking Sea pivots 180 degrees in this tight space.
This ship is a very nimble ship, even though it's 50,000 tons.
Viking Sea now heads back out.
It was amazing.
That was spectacular.
The whole reason we made this trip was for that last hour.
This Norwegian captain, who has seen the world, is still awed by his own country.
This is really spectacular, and for me it's the first time, and I'm just as excited as anybody else.
A smaller ship, a shallow draft. This is exactly what Viking Sea was designed to do. Go where the big ships can't. It's day 9 of Viking Sea's voyage into the midnight sun. Traveling through 24 hours of daylight on one of the longest days of the year. Viking Sea sails 650 kilometers to reach the port of Honningsv, not far from Norway's northernmost point, Nordkapp. One of the last points of land between Norway and the North Pole. Today, guests head out to try a freshly prepared meal. The star attraction on the menu is hauled up from the frigid Arctic waters. King crab. Lunch has been caught. Now it has to be cooked.
The best way to eat crab is fresh.
From Honningsv, guests also enjoy a short excursion to Nordkapp, or North Cape. There's very little land between here and the North Pole, 2,100 kilometers away. For centuries, Vikings returning from distant voyages would have rejoiced to see this soaring cliff. It would mean they were home. For Viking Sea, the landmark means it's time to turn back south, sailing to the unofficial capital of northern Norway, Tromsø. Day 10 of the cruise.
Trust us.
The skies have turned gray. The temperature has dropped to a chilly 7 degrees.
Once you've got yourself a kayak, we're going to slide them down to the water's edge, so the water needs to be at the nose of the kayak. Okay, just be careful on the seaweed, it's really slippery. How does that feel? Okay, you happy with that?
The setting is so inviting. Cruise director Aaron Seifert wants to join in.
Our goal is to stay dry.
The guests take off for their own adventure in way more comfort than the early Vikings. It's quiet, low-key, and magical. Exactly what the itinerary promised.
We were in the lead most of the way, and then we got caught up by some ducks. Got in our way. Good job. It was a lot of fun. Good things.
But the water's chilly, and I'm glad I didn't fall in it. Really what I came for. Just to do this.
We had to have patience with each other, which is the secret to the 20-some-odd years we have.
Yeah. But I did get to hit him with seaweed.
You did.
Viking Sea's voyage is coming to an end. But the rookie cruise ship needs to keep impressing her guests all the way home. It's been 12 days traveling through the land of the midnight sun. Viking Sea's cruise is almost over. But today, there's one last fjord to visit, leading to the tiny village of Geiranger, one of the most serenely beautiful sights in Norway.
It's narrow, but it's very deep. We don't want to make too much wake since people have boats parked along the fjord there.
On the way, Viking Sea passes the Seven Sisters waterfall, which snakes and plunges for over 250 meters.
Harder point.
The ship anchors in the harbor, 120 meters from shore. To get the guests there, the ship doesn't come to the pier. The pier comes to the ship.
The last time I saw it was in a magazine as a concept, and that was about 5 or 6 years ago, so it's quite something to see it come to life.
The Seawalk was designed in Norway.
All received, we are going to take the gangway.
Here, cruise ship traffic is so heavy, the town invested in the mobile floating pier to help with the daily invasion.
First time we've ever used the Seawalk, so it's a pretty fascinating bit of engineering, to say the very least.
Passengers just stroll ashore anytime they want.
Kayaking, yes. Kayaking, group number 27, please.
More convenient for them, less work for the crew, and a boon for the local economy.
Please welcome to our kitchen table.
That evening, back aboard the ship,
Okay, guys, good evening, everybody.
Executive Chef Ashley Duff prepares a multi-course feast.
So the tuna is raw, and it's marinated with olive oil, onions, tomato.
This is the best culinary experience we've had.
Lime sorbet. Okay, this is to cleanse your palate from the Mexican fusion extravaganza that you've just tried. Here we go, the main course of the evening. We have some beautiful fresh Dover saumonier. It's our job to create memories for the guests. We're in the service business, and if you're in the service business, you're a people business person. You need to be a people person. And for me to do this at the kitchen table at the end is just absolutely fantastic.
A perfect last night before Viking Sea reaches Bergen. A newcomer on the cruise scene. Viking Sea's captain and crew took their guests on an unforgettable journey. Under the midnight sun. Across the Arctic Circle. Into the heart of Norway. Following the wake of Viking longboats from centuries ago. A remarkable journey for the guests. And also for the commander at the helm of this new ship.
For me personally, it's been a fantastic journey. I would say reconnecting with my country. And as long as it's fun, then we'll continue doing it.
This Viking seems set to sail the world for years to come.